everybody, I'm Rutledge Wood from NASCAR on NBC, and you're watching World of Stock Car Racing League. Enjoy!
Welcome everyone, we are live here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. It is home tonight for the Woscrl Throwback Cup Series Racing Series. Tonight with me in the booth, as always, of course, Frank Marchese with me in the booth. I forgot your last name again. We do that quite a bit. I'm very horrible at it. Frank, welcome to Charlotte. What we got for tonight?
It's going to be a fun night after the week off. A chance to simmer down some bubbling anger. Got a chance to simmer some of that down. We start a fresh slate here at Charlotte. Race number 4 on the calendar. It's going to be a fun watch.
Yeah, man, and this is one I have been looking forward to. Charlotte is one of the tracks that I circled up. We should be able to see some good racing. Of course, you can see that this is the older Charlotte, not the updated version, which honestly is my favorite track between the two. I like the older one better, just my opinion. I think it's a lot better track surface. But anyway, tonight's race, of course, is going to be is going to be brought to you by the following sponsors.
The Woscrl Throwback Series is presented by CSODiecast.com. CSODiecast.com is an official retailer of Lionel Racing collectibles. Check out CSODiecast.com for some of the newest NASCAR diecast releases. While you're there, be sure to register on their website to receive exclusive member benefits and savings. This race is also sponsored by Manscaped. Get 20% off plus free shipping using the promo code WOSCRL at manscaped.com. Once again, that promo code WOSCRL at manscaped.com. We're also sponsored tonight by the Killer Brownie, specializing in joy, extraordinary desserts for extraordinary people.
There you go. So once again, thank you all of them sponsors. We couldn't do it without you. As we get set to go here tonight, making his return tonight, Tristan Ferris after a 2-week suspension, so he's making his return here tonight. Right now, we're thinking we got 16 people, which I'm going to say it could be 15, could be 16, which is actually really fantastic considering tonight is an endurance race over at Spa. That some guys are just finished up. Some guys are just now in the middle of it. So the turnout for this is actually pretty fantastic, to be completely honest. But we are at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This track we know is a very tough racetrack, but it is a fun racetrack. It's not your normal mile and a half, in my opinion. It does drive similar to other tracks, maybe the older Texas or Atlanta a little bit, but very fun racetrack. Like I said, one of my favorites. Talk a little bit about Charlotte, man, especially in these cars.
It's known as it's the home of NASCAR. A lot of the shops are right not that far away in neighboring Mooresville. The NASCAR Hall of Fame is here. This is the one race that everybody wants to win. When you come to Charlotte, you immediately think of the Coca-Cola 600, which right up there with the Daytona 500 and the Southern 500, right up there as far as prestige in NASCAR is concerned. And in this day and age, and back in the 80s, it would have been the World 600. This is a race that everybody has circled on their calendar, a race that everybody tries their damnedest to win, and I'm sure tonight is going to be no different.
Yeah, and one driver that's not going to be here tonight is a big name, Tony Ball, not here because he is currently racing the 24 Hours of Spa race, so that's going to open up opportunities for guys like Chris Stouffer, Bobby Petrica, who's currently second and third in the points. Maybe they could gain a little bit right now. Tony Ball sitting on top of the points lead with 526. Chris Stouffer currently second with his one win with 460. Petrica currently in third with 452. And there's Ben Bandu, who's currently in fourth, who is not here tonight as well, but he has 451. And Luke Doran, who honestly has made a quiet name. Let's call it like it is. He's made a quiet surge in the season. He is currently third. He's been one of the guys I've been watching a lot lately. So practice coming to an end. That means qualifying is set to kick us off.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to watch here as Russell Bracca comes away with the fastest time in the practice session at a 31.393. And we do have one new driver here in the field as well, James Brosker in the 18 there.
Mm-hmm.
So new names, Austin Connick, I believe, making his first start this season. And then, as you mentioned before, Tristan Ferris coming off of that 2-race suspension after the Daytona 500.
Yeah, so he's looking to
getting
try to
into
make.
it as well.
He's going to be trying to correct his wrongs, I guess we could say, with being down 2 races. You kind of behind the gun by quite a bit right now, so he's going to be looking to try to make up some very important points, which is good that Tony Ball's not here for him, because that's good for everybody that's in this points race, because we know how good Ball actually is. So Christopher is out on the track working through turns 1 and 2. Did you happen to get a chance to practice here at all?
A while ago, when these cars first came out, it's actually a rather smooth racetrack.
It is.
It's a nice feeling racetrack to drive these cars in. Granted, it's not easy,
Yeah.
but still, it's manageable for a majority of the drivers.
Another thing is, this is a track where everybody's had experience on. Like, let's just be honest, everybody's raced here, because this is a rookie track that you get on iRacing when you join. I don't know if it's still a rookie track. I'm guessing it is. So pretty cool, and it's kind of taken everybody back to a throwback style, I guess, from when they started iRacing, even though there is some newest drivers in here. It's like, like you said, it's a big race that everybody wants to win, as we watch Daniel Rouse cross to the start-finish line. Right now, Benjamin Shelton on top of the board, and I lied. Drew Ballesteros goes to the top of the board.
Yeah, Drew is quick. You remember, he was the pole sitter at Rockingham, so we know he's quick. He's stumbled into a couple of bad situations over the course of the last couple weeks, but he's definitely one of the guys. And Jacob Wolbury, another one sitting right now, P2, who's been very impressive these last couple of weeks as well.
Yeah, Jacob qualifying P2 as we watch Austin Connick right now work across. He blinked just a little bit. Is that lap going to count? It does not actually. Yeah, it did. It qualifies P8 right now, so not the greatest. As we jump back to Bobby Patrica here in the Red Baron number 90 car. I think he actually just came out on track, so he'll be trying to put down some laps. We did have Patrica in our live drivers, or in-car reporter. We had him a couple weeks ago, and it's always awesome to have him. We'll have him again here soon. We just we're not going to have one tonight because the turnout's not the biggest, and we don't want to distract these drivers too much, because I do expect a lot of green flag racing here. So Patrica is on his qualifying lap right now, which is lap 1. So we'll continue to ride on board with him as he works through turns 3 and 4. Tires, by the way, these guys only get what, 5 sets?
Yes, 5 sets,
including the ones they start on.
Yes.
Okay, so it is a 150 lap race, and I don't know if you're really going to have to use all 5 sets. If you're able to manage it, of course, you're not going to have to, and that's usually the goal as Patrica qualifies in P2. But tires could become a factor depending on how this really goes. I guess it could go either way. And I like Skylar Grissom's car. That's a nice paint. I think it's bright.
It certainly is. And Skylar, another guy, down on the luck chain over the last couple of weeks. He's going to pull it up at a 31.6 flat, putting him in P6. As Luke Doran now actually goes to the pole.
Wow. With a 31.395.
He's been quiet, as you mentioned, and I think tonight he's gonna make himself a little bit more boisterous, I think.
Yeah, I think this is a great opportunity for a lot of these guys. And I'm not throwing them under the bus when I say it. With Tony Ball not being here, this is your chance to gain a lot.
Yeah, that opens up the rest of the field.
Yeah.
When you have the guys who have been dominating in this series, Tony Ball, Ben Bando not here. That really opens the door. This is a chance to sneak in a win. If you're a guy like Luke Doran or Drew Ballesteros, if you can keep the car under you, which is something that Drew, as we mentioned, has had a problem with recently. Skylar's had a problem with it recently. So this really is the chance for a lot of people.
We talked about James in the 18 making his debut here tonight. If you're in that situation, making your debut with a new series, how aggressive are you wanting to be? Are you just out here trying to get respect a little bit from these guys? Because we know that there is some guys in here that are respected, some guys not. So if you're him, how do you go about this? I mean, he qualified 7th.
Yeah, if I were him, I would show enough pace to put everybody on alert, yet be respectful. This is something
Right.
where you have to assume these guys, and you don't even have to assume. We know that these guys have been racing a lot. There's a lot of practicing, a lot of group testing, and practice races that go on in between these races. Now, they took the 4th of July weekend off, but Woscrl is, I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think he's been a part of a lot of that. So
Yeah.
to make your debut tonight, you got to show enough speed to put everybody on alert to say, all right, this guy is for real, but also keep it clean enough to realize, okay, this guy's not a jerk. He's going to race fine, and we can work with this guy.
So Luke Doran does grab the pole away. We just showed you guys the grid while we was talking about that. And one thing about him is his first pole award this season, qualifying 5th with 2 guys in front of him in the point standings. Not here. A good opportunity for a couple of these guys to move up through the point standings tonight. So we'll be watching that very close, especially to see what Luke can do. So cars are grid. We're waiting on one more car to grid up, and we will start to break away here from the front of the pack. You can get a look here at some of these cars once I control my camera, and I like that number 4 car. Actually, it's got that little chrome look to it. And I'm not a big fan of spec maps or chrome cars on these type of cars, but I'm not gonna lie, that's not solid chrome. That looks actually pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, that's silver, of course.
Yeah.
Definitely helps. It gives you that option.
It does. So looks pretty good. James's car is really nice. I love just the old look, and I've said it before. These old paint schemes look amazing. Don't ever go back and try to do new stuff on an old car, because to me it does not look that great.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I'm a bit of a traditionalist in that regard as well.
Nicholas Post starting from the pits as we get set to go here. And you know what? Why don't you bring us to the green flag here tonight?
All right, I will. And just a note as well, Christopher electing not to take qualifying. So he's going to be in the back as well. So I believe he pulled that strategy at Pocono as well.
Was it Pocono? Yeah.
I believe so. So that's kind of becoming a thing for him, not taking qualifying. But as we come out of corner number 4, Luke Doran and Drew Ballesteros leading us down as the pace car pulls off, and we are racing here at Charlotte. Or we will be in a minute. There we go. We're racing now at Charlotte as Drew Ballesteros gets an awful restart, and Doran shoots out to the lead with Bobby Petrika in tow. Yeah,
Benjamin Shelton going to take advantage of that bad restart as well from Drew Ballesteros. He's going to be able to take third away from this early on as they work out of turn 2. Now, these tires are a little bit cold, so it's going to take a couple laps for these things to get a little bit warm and start gripping to the track. So guys need to keep that in mind as we just look through the field here. The biggest battle right here going to be back with the 51. He continues to drop back a little bit.
I was just going to say he was running in P4. He qualified in P4 at least, and he has fallen way back down to 11. So I don't know if it was a bad restart or if this is a plan for Woscrl, but not the greatest of starts if it was not intended to be this way.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Jacob, so I'm hoping everything's good because right now he is not looking good. He's dropped back to 11th, but looks like it was more strategy in a way than anything, I guess. He falls back to 11th right now, right in front of Josh Pena, who is currently, but there is a battle going on right up in front of him. Chris Stouffer on the outside right now, battling Andrew J. Malin?
Jamelin, I believe.
Jamelin?
And if you look on the back straightaway, the 6 has pulled over.
Yeah, Nicholas Post has blinked quite a bit and actually towed. He's having some connection issues. And that was one thing we was worried about.
He spun it. I was looking to see where he was. He had spun it off at 2 and hit the backstretch wall. It was right as I had switched cameras when it looked like something was starting to happen with him, and I quickly flipped back.
If you guys bear with me.
He hit the wall and then towed it as the caution comes out.
Caution is out, and Daniel Rouse is on. And guys, bear with me on this replay because we are having trouble showing replays right now, and y'all guys are going to have to bear with me until I figure out why we're having trouble showing replays. So just give
Roush
me a
just
second.
pushed really bad.
Let's see if I can. For some reason, it's not wanting to show me the replay option.
Rouse. Well, give a little bit of a blow-by-blow. Rouse came into turn 1 right behind Russell Bradkin, the 74, and he pushed up, and the wall kind of sucked him in and spun him around. So a single car incident, just the 27 of Daniel Rouse was the issue.
Give me just a second, guys, while I try to figure out the. There we go. I don't know why it disappeared. Anyway, we'll try to show what happened to Daniel in just a moment. There we go, and we will back this up quite a bit here. And you guys could probably see it here in just a moment. Sorry about that once again. And here is the replay with Daniel as he was running behind that 74 car that you see on your screen of Russell Brecken up into the wall, and exactly what Frank was talking about. Honestly, that could have been way worse, but you're seeing where he actually went around that, so good for him being able to at least keep it up. And pit road was open, no drivers coming down, which very early in this one, I don't think you're going to see that right now by any means.
Yeah, no, especially when you have a limited set of tires. Yeah. Now, if you did watch the Die Hard Racing series, which runs every Thursday night, right here on ESPN, they're running these cars, and they just had their race at Daytona this past Thursday, their season opener. They'll be at Rockingham this upcoming Thursday. A lot of their guys were saving that extra set of tires just in case they needed them at the end. So tire wear and the amount of tires you have a major factor with a lot of these guys, and I'm sure it will be as more as guys start to get a little bit more clever as the season goes on. Yeah,
that's one thing that is going to be a factor, especially with tires that change week-to-week basis. Like there may be Martinsville, for example. We're not sure how many tires they're going to get. Sometimes you see a lot. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we take a lot less tires, maybe only 4 sets or so. So that's going to make things interesting. And like you said, guys are going to get more clever on how to use that tire. And there is a big advantage. And if you can figure out how to use the tires the right way, I promise it's going to work out for you. Let's just be honest. We know that.
Yeah, there definitely is. And by the way, Daniel Rouse came in and I believe fixed his damage. And Nicholas Post has called it an early evening done after turning just 2 laps.
That's tough. How many? No, we get 1 quick repair, correct? We're done. Actually, do we?
Let me see.
I don't think we get any from all the house.
No quick repairs.
So there you go. So we will get ready to go green here once again. Of course, we are single file restarts in here because this is the old-timey league. Lap cars, however, will be lined up to the inside of the race leaders. So I think we do have lucky dogs, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe we do. I think we do too.
We'll figure out the rules to this thing at some point.
Yeah, sure. We've had a break, man. It's been a long day for me. I'm not going to lie. Thanks, Derek, by the way, for running our small race. Anyway, we had a long day, long week, but it is what it is. Tomorrow on ESPN, no broadcast for me anyway. I don't think Sam has one tomorrow night, so I don't think there is a broadcast tomorrow. Monday night there is.
He's had a rough day at Spa, so I'm not entirely sure. He might be taking a day off.
It don't matter. He might be like, I'm done. I'm not doing it no more.
Yeah, I think he's going to be stepping away from iRacing for a couple of days after this.
Can't blame him
today.
Can't blame him at all. Monday night, however, iRacing E-Series making a return back here again. It'll be their time in the spotlight, I guess we could say. They will be live from Kentucky, the Cup Series. Had some good racing over there. So we'll be back here Monday. But tonight, of course, it is the CSO Diecast WOSCRL Throwback Series, presented by all the great sponsors we was talking about a few moments ago. Luke Doran currently in the lead here on lap number 9, coming to lap 9. Bobby Patrica, who honestly, I think he's getting better in these cars. Have you noticed that compared to what we first seen him in?
Oh yeah, Daytona. I mean, you expect everyone's everyone's kind of equal at Daytona. All the cars are equal, drivers are equal. But he did somewhat hover around the mid pack in Rockingham. Kind of did the same thing at Pocono. It's found his way up the field a little bit more. But yeah, now right in the mix after getting a good start behind Luke Doran to start this race, getting out in front of Drew Ballesteros. So we have definitely seen an improvement from Mr. Patrick in the night.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's one thing that's going to come over time as pace lights are off. I think that's one thing that's going to come over time for all these guys that might not race these cars a ton, because I don't think guys realize how hard these cars actually are. I think when these cars came out, we talked about this before, when these cars came out, I think a lot of people thought they'd be easy, and they are the complete opposite of that word. So, I mean, you even raced in it at Daytona in the Clash.
Yeah, the first laps I ever turned in this car, the day they were released, they made a big impression within the first 15 seconds of being on the track. They made a big impression.
So
that was just at Daytona.
Yeah. I'm going to be interested because we do go to Martinsville here in a few weeks, like I was saying. I'm going to be very interested we go there as the pace car does drop in and we get set to go back green flag racing. There it is, green flag backing away, Luke Doran down and away.
It got a good start. Patrica got a good start as well. We've seen that happen with the way the leaders tends to jump out on these restarts. Patrica didn't stay right up with Luke Doran, but he also got a jump on Benjamin Shelton there in the 15.
Yeah, Shelton back in third right now. Patrica's still in third. Battle's going to be coming up, though, like you was mentioning with that third place. I feel like Drew Ballesteros has a really good car just right now hovering on third. I'm also watching Chris Stouffer. He's back in seventh right now. So I'm going to be watching him. Remember, he started last, and he's already up to P7.
I was just about to say another guy who's got a fast car. It might be the fastest of the night so far is that 13. He's moved his way down past Skylar Grissom. He's up to P6.
Yeah, as Grissom
starting second to last.
Grissom's under attack now from Russell as Russell on the inside. Skylar to the high line. You think the line could move up here? I know in the Cup cars at this track, the line tend to move up a little bit as the race went on. Could we see that here, you think, in these types of cars, or is that just going to be something we learn as it goes?
I think with these type of cars, the line is wherever the car feels like it wants to go. So wherever you set the car up to go, that's where it's most likely, that's where the line is going to be.
Yeah, a lot of the times for people watching that might have never watched these cars race, it may look like the back end's going to come around a lot of time. It probably feels like it as well. But honestly, these cars slip and slide quite a bit, and you'll see a lot of guys actually getting that back end to turn around a little bit. So you can kind of see that the loads on these cars, the back end's pretty heavy towards the rear end. We start to see some of that, sliding action on them. So makes it great for us in the broadcast, but I'm sure it's a tough car to drive once that happens.
Yeah, in the car, you really don't feel when it steps out. As I'm looking at Stouffer, I'm not quite sure what the live broadcast is.
Yes.
But I'm looking at Stouffer, and you can see that car looks like it's stepping out, and it looks like you would feel something like that when the car kicks out of it, but you really don't feel it all that much. When you overstep that line, certainly, but you don't feel that kind of move.
Pocono, we really seen it. You could really see it stepping out. Almost every corner it was really stepping out. You see Chris Stouffer, he's running to James, the newcomer here in the series. I guess we go ahead and just call him a rookie, although all these guys are rookies in this series, at least for this season.
We'll call him the debutant.
Yeah.
We'll do that one.
But James has honestly done a really good job. You said basically keep your nose clean so far. I mean, it's still very early. We're only 15 laps in. It's still very early. He's done a really good job in that number 18 car. I absolutely love the paint scheme look on that. Another thing that I want to bring up is this is a transition race. You see right now we are under the sun. A little bit of a sunlight. I'll call it late evening, I guess we can say. This race is going to transition to the night, so the track should cool off. That could give these guys a little bit better grip, or we would expect, especially in turn 3 right now where a lot of the sun is.
Yeah, no, it's and the track will go through an evolution. It will go through a change. There are some minor adjustments that these guys can make on pit road. I know they can't change like tire pressures and whatnot, but there are little things that they can change that can help as the race wears on into the night.
Watching Josh Pena right now to the inside of the 44 of Andrew, trying to take away the 10th position. Good side by side, but they've been battling quite a bit as Pena does slide up this time and is able to take that spot away. Right now, the Chevrolet is leading the race. Luke Doran, Bobby Patrica currently second, and third place, of course, Benjamin Shelton. Both of them guys are in Fords. Actually, top 5, we got 3 Fords and 2 Chevys, so it's pretty good matched up right now. Come on, Luke Doran, we got to get Chevy another win. But now Patrica, the last couple laps, running down Luke Doran. He was faster last time by. The fastest car on the track last time, or better, let's just say this time because it makes it better for us. Doran was faster that time, but the fastest car was actually it was our leader. I see 32.499. But Patrica does look like he is trying to run down Doran here right now, only about 4/10 back.
They were catching up to Doran, and then Stouffer got around the 18, and then Ballesteros got around the 15, and then that kind of moved everyone back a little bit. But yeah, they were catching up to that 4 up there in the lead.
So there you go. So we'll be watching that as they try to close that gap back up. We're watching Chris Stouffer right now running into 5th place. Remember, he does have the win this season. If we actually look over at our scoring sheet that I have, we only got 2 drivers in here with the win. That's Tony Ball and Chris Stouffer. So, there is a great opportunity here tonight for one of these other guys to get a win, but you still got Chris Stouffer. So, and Chris Stouffer definitely well-deserving, second in points. I mean, even if he does go out here and win, going to be well-deserving. Speaking of which, I jumped up, and Luke Doran, once again, is starting to check out just a little bit, about 5/10 right now. Battle going to be for second as Drew Ballesteros tries to close the gap up.
Yep, they're all kind of closing up, and Ballesteros leading that group of the 15, the 13, the 18, the 28, leading them right up to the back of the 90, and I think Patrica might have run the tires off it, or that he's trying to save it. But that 22 has hawked him down, and now I think he's going to bring the conga line up to the 4.
My personal opinion on the whole tire situation, your goal is to get to 25 laps before you pit. I'm sitting here thinking about that would be your cutoff line, and then if a caution comes out lap 25, you pit. Because we do now, is that 5 sets, or is that also counting the ones on the car? That's counting the ones on the car, correct?
Looking at the race info, it's showing tire set limit in the race is 5.
Okay, so that would equal about 25 laps is what you're looking for. Since this is a 150 lap race, cut it off in 25 lap intervals. As we watch Battle for Fourth right now, Chris Stouffer going to be able to take that away from Benjamin Shelton. But tire management here, like we're seeing right now, this has the potential to be a long green flag run, and that's one thing about Charlotte we see quite a bit.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you can't run your race saying, all right, we're going to get to 25. There's going to be a caution around lap 25, because you never know. You have to run the race as if you're going to run it green the entire way through.
Yeah.
So you got to save the tires. And in a car like this, which is so reliant on mechanical grip over aerodynamic grip, you really have to focus on saving the tires. Otherwise, you're going to be in a world of hurt very quickly.
So that's going to be something interesting to kind of watch. Say if we go another 25 laps or so, or maybe more, under this condition, is there going to be somebody that's up front or towards the back that falls off or gets better? I mean, you would think automatically yes. As we watch Skylar Grissom take over 6th place, he's doing a nice job so far. But is there going to be somebody? The person that stands out to me that would do that is Russell Bracco, currently in 8th right now.
For me, I'm looking at Patrica. He was right up to Luke Doran, fell back, got passed rather easily by the 22, and now he's fallen right onto the bumper of Chris Stouffer in the 13. He's about to get past here. Probably will get past going into turn 1, and I would not be surprised if the 15 of Benjamin Shelton would follow suit shortly after, but he might have been overexerting that car a little bit as he starts to fall back now.
That's not all that's going on. I just checked our leaders, and that gap is closing. We are at 3/10 now from Luke Doran to Drew Ballesteros. And Drew's been one of them guys that you would honestly think would have a win. Let's just be honest. Let's call it like it is. He's that good. And no offense to Luke by any means. He's definitely well-deserving as well. But you look at some of the guys that's been racing well this year, even though Luke's been racing well, Drew Ballesteros stands out to me as well.
Yeah, he had a great run during the Clash. Got involved in somebody else's mistake at Daytona at the 500. It had qualified on the pole at Rockingham. Got caught up in a couple of different incidences. One incident compiled into another, as they tend to do in racing. And then in Pocono, he got caught up in another incident. And again, the same thing. Issues sort of compiled. So he's got a quick car. He's been a victim of circumstance, though, quite a bit this season. Certainly in the early portion.
One thing I want to... Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
One thing I was going to show these guys that I always thought was pretty cool was the inside of these race cars. And right now we're right on board with Luke Doran. We've showed this before on the same broadcast. One thing about these Chevys that you noticed, look down at the floorboard, they actually have the fan blowing on the pedals to try to keep the driver's feet cool, which of course this is a sim. These drivers actually don't feel it, but pretty cool that they are able to replicate that. Not only that, check out the seatbelt clips that hold up the window net. Actually says GM on it. If we actually go back to the Ford, this is what I thought was pretty cool. The Ford does not have a fan, and the seatbelt clips, there's only actually one that holds that driver's side window net up, and it is not a GM window net. So that's pretty neat. That just goes to show how realistic. To me, iRacing does such a great job in scanning these cars that I don't know whose car they scanned to get this. I'm thinking it was Ray Evernham's garage, but absolutely amazing job that iRacing did scanning these things.
Yeah, they do. Definitely a good job as we got a battle for the lead here as Ballesteros went and looked under Doran going through two. Wouldn't be surprised if he does it again. Doran's running a little bit more towards the middle, and Ballesteros can pin that car to the inside. Can definitely help here. He might have his... No, I thought he had his corner. He didn't.
You know what's going to be interesting? I read on Twitter the other day from one of the head people, Steve Myers, from iRacing, as we see a pass right here for the lead, Ballesteros underneath. And you actually just mentioned that, by the way, about the Luke Doran was having trouble in turn 1 and 2, and that's exactly where Ballesteros was able to take advantage. But I was reading on Twitter the other day about, from Steve Myers, he's like a VP person at iRacing. They are adding the grip strip. It's being worked on for iRacing. Now, I know we're not going to use it, I don't think, in this series unless it's absolutely must. But you want to talk about making these cars fun. Throw a grip strip out there on these cars. That'll be fun. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as we are watching Skylar Grissom right now. He's actually working on Benjamin Shelton. This is for 5th. Skylar's been one of them guys that's starting to move up a little bit here. As right now, we are currently 31 laps into this one. As the race still continues here. Good racing right now as Bobby Petricka currently running in 4th place as well. But right now, watch the Skylar. And now you see the 74 Russell Bracca underneath Benjamin Shelton in the 15. So as we watch, by the way, guys, in YouTube chat, let us know if anybody's cutting out. It might just be Discord. I think that's really what it is, Frank, to be completely honest. When Frank's having trouble, he's having trouble hearing me, and I've been having trouble hearing him. So I think it's more Discord than anything. But let us know in the chat if the sound is coming through good.
It wasn't that long ago that Stouffer was 1.7, 1.8 seconds back. He's clawed that back to 1.2 seconds as Petricka has fallen off, and he has pushed Skylar Grissom and Russell Bracca, who was the quickest car in practice, back as there is a caution on the speedway. And yeah, there he is.
Austin Connick.
It's the 27's around as well.
Oh, you're all right. Yeah, I think they might be involved with each other. We're going to try to back this up. Let's see. Yeah, something happened with the 27 is what caused, I think, the 98 to go around as well. Well.
Ooh.
Interesting right there. Not sure what exactly. Something happened to Daniel Rouse. He went really slow all of a sudden. Let's see.
Oh.
That was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's... I don't know what to call that.
Yeah, it sounded like the car... It felt like he was out of the throttle on the straightaway. Or was he slowing down to let Austin go? Maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
I mean, he could have done, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's a weird one.
I mean, that's something you would call that out.
Okay, so sound is good. Okay, so sound is good on the broadcast. That's good. Pit road is going to be open, by the way.
Yeah, they're coming in.
You got to come in at this point.
This is no brainer pit stop time here.
Now somebody's staying out. Austin Connick's staying out. He's going to come back in, I would guess.
Well, he's also a lap down.
Oh, that was actually a 47, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was...
Jim Fawcett?
Yes, it was.
So I'm wondering if that's just to lead a lap.
He pulled the same thing 2 weeks ago at Pocono, and it worked out for him. So
that's
it
true.
got him up
So
Foskett will lead that lap.
Much needed tires going on to the race car. I'll tell you something interesting, and I want to see if this is actually what I'm seeing. As Ballesteros actually wins the race off pit road. But I want to see something. I need to zoom in a little bit. Maybe not. Thought that car had an angle to it. When it was sitting on pit road, it looked like the left side was down closer to the track, but guess not. So, all right, caution number 1 comes out. Or caution number 2.
You already trying to pit people for post-race inspection?
Hey, everybody.
Already.
I'm Rutledge Wood from NASCAR on NBC.
Got to. There you see Jim coming in as well, by the way, into number 47. Austin Connick, he's going to come in as well.
Yeah, as you would have figured at this point here.
So that brings out caution number 2 after Daniel Rouse was involved in both of them, unfortunately. Daniel's going to be spending some time on pit road, I believe, after that incident. And it's a tough break there for Austin as well. Let's just be honest. He was kind of minding his own business, it looked like. Unfortunately, it happens. We've seen something similar to that happen. Actually, no, I take it back. It actually happened under caution. Never mind. We don't need to talk about that, do we? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I believe I do, yes.
Anyway. So we are getting ready to go back. Green flag race. I think we're on 2 to go this time, so we'll be coming back to the green flag. Skylar Grissom is up to 5th right now. That's somebody I've been impressive with. Luke Doran, by the way, lost 2 spots. Well, actually lost 1 spot on pit road.
There were a couple of great pit stops that were run. Now, iRacing going into this weekend had made an adjustment. One of their weekly updates had come out, and it made the pit crews for the 87 cars more consistent because there was a lot of inconsistencies in pit stop times. So iRacing made it kind of bunched it up a little bit more, made them a little bit more consistent. But a big jump for Bobby Petricca. I think he went up like 2 or 3 spots, and also Russell Bradka moved up as well in that 74.
Well, it's interesting. I'm sitting here looking at total time on pit lane. Bobby Petricca had 44.3 total time. That's on all the way to off pit lane. It had a 20.5 second. Luke Doran actually had 46 seconds on pit lane. Bracca had a 44.7. Skylar Grissom a 45, and then Chris Topher actually had a 47. So
may have been the way they got out of the box.
Yeah,
then, because Petricca was in 4th, I believe, when they came in, jumping 2 spots.
Very interesting.
And Stouffer fell out of the top 5.
Yeah, 47.1 second when other guys are hitting 44s.
Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of a difference. I mean, our fastest pit stop, by the way, was Bobby Petricka. He had a 20.5 second total time on pit road, but he had 44.3. Our fastest time actually in the box, however, was a 20.2 with Josh Pena. So there you go.
And he's moved up. He's up to P8 now.
Yeah.
He was, believe he was in the 11th, 12th range. Now he's up to P8.
Yeah, looking at the lap time from people behind him, James, who is at 18, he was up a little bit further where he's at. He's currently 9th. He had a 45.7. Andrew had a 46.6. Jim was on pit road after all these guys, 47.3. And then Jacob actually had a 46.8. So, yeah, quite a bit of a jump there for Josh Pena. Good stop for him.
Yeah, definitely. And that could... We know if you've watched NASCAR racing or any form of racing long enough, you know that wins and losses could be sealed on pit lane.
Yeah, I've always said that, especially when it comes to certain time, especially when you have longer pit stops. I feel like even the road cars, I feel like pit road is where you very easily could lose a race.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's harder to make up there as well.
Especially with some of the talent that's in the field, let's just be honest. Yeah. So we're coming back to the green flag here for our third restart. We've had 2 cautions so far as the pace car ready to take a left down pit road. There it goes. Green flag set to come. Drew Ballesteros up front. Green flag going to be displayed. So we are
a bad start in the back.
Yeah, I've seen some cars really
they got
slow.
log jammed up in the back badly.
The 47 of Jim, I don't know if he had trouble or what it was. See if we can see what happened here in the restart.
It looked like he might have been in too high a gear.
That's a good possibility. We're looking at the restart right now. You know what? You're right, because I just see that car backfired. I think you're right.
I've done that once before, and I felt like a complete and utter fool. Because that was in an Xfinity car. That wasn't in one of these. Yeah. But I started in 4th gear in the car, just like I pressed the throttle. I'm like, well, I'm not getting any wheel spin. I'm not getting any acceleration either. What's going on?
Yeah, I've done it more than once.
Look down, 4th gear, idiot.
I've done it more than once. I've actually started in 4th gear in an Indy car. And that was pretty interesting.
That's not as bad as a stock car.
Yeah, it's a lot lighter, so, here's Christopher, by the way, trying to get underneath the 74 of Russell bracket. Looks like he is underneath right now, of course. Working out turn 2. Oh, we got one in the car at the wall. That was the 18. I seen smack the wall of turn 2. These things are built like tanks. He'll be okay.
Yeah, he should be okay. I mean, we've seen we've seen some stuff here. The 22 is smashed up headlong into the wall at 180 and still putting down the fastest laps of the race. So these cars will run, and we got a nice little gaggle here for second.
Yeah, really good little battle here. Luke Doran leading this little group, but Chris Stouffer was able to get around Russell. Now working on Bobby Petricka. That would be for the 3rd position, and actually Petricka falling back a little bit right now as Russell takes a peek underneath trying to follow Stouffer through.
Yeah, Bradka was quick again. There goes Petricka.
Around he goes. Caution flag going to come out. There it is.
Yeah, hit the wall out of 4.
Head on too.
Oh!
Well, Austin Cox not just went from okay to really bad.
It's one of those where you gotta look where you're going before you make a move.
Yeah, that's tough.
And Petricka just went from solid top 5 car to ball game right there.
Tell you what really hurts him, and you see him right there. Here's where he rolls forward a little bit. Oh my gosh. What really hurts him in this situation, he was really looking forward towards a good night. With the point situation, not so much now. I mean, he's going to be able to gain a little bit on Tony, but the rest of these guys are going to gain a lot on him.
I mean, unfortunately, both mistakes. One of them a racing mistake that I'm sure we're going to see more than once here tonight, and then the other one just a lapse in judgment.
For sure. So that brings out the caution once again. What we're going to do, guys, we'll take a quick break and come right back after this. Welcome back here to Charlotte Motor Speedway, the WOS CRL series, ready to get rolling once again. Once we do, we are going to do what I like to do here from my broadcast anyway. We're going to do the Turn It Up. Sorry, Fox. But we're going to do that. And I hope you guys enjoy it. It's something fun that I like doing. So we'll do that for about 3 laps or so. Hopefully we stay green because it makes a great noise. So on your speakers, hopefully you're not too loud, but turn it up because it gets really loud in these cars. So enjoy it. It should be fun. We are coming back to the green flag this time. As the Ford Mustang pace car, we wait for the drop-off. Drew Ballesteros, Luke Doran, and Chris Stover, your top 3. Pace car ready to drop off, and we will turn it up. So y'all crank it up, turn it up, whatever. Up front for the lead, Chris Stover putting some pressure on. Did get word that Austin Connick and Bobby Petricka both are out of tonight's event. That's a sad break there, Frank, for both of them guys.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Connick, he's just the victim. We talked about Drew and we talked about Skyler, but now Connick just a victim of circumstance on both incidences, and Petricka had a great car, just one little mistake turned into a pretty fatal one.
Right now, the track's in a pretty big transition. I'm sure the track temp is going down quite a bit, especially after that caution. Now we're pretty much under complete darkness for the most part. So I'm sure the track temp really starting to come down. Track changing a little bit. You see, actually, right now, Ballesteros running right on the white line, same as Chris Stover. Maybe that's going to be the way to go around. Once the track temp cools down, it does create a little bit more grip, I'm sure. So that's very interesting. That we talked a little bit about it earlier.
Yeah, definitely. And it's the line definitely, especially with these cars, is down low. And it's going to be who can pin it down low the best, as Stouffer is all over the back of Drew coming out of 4. But here comes Luke Doran right into the fray.
Luke Doran, just to me, my personal opinion, is one of the guys that I'm really looking forward to seeing how the season progresses for him. And he's done this in a quiet manner. He's not constantly up front leading races. As bad as that is to say, I promise he would rather be up front constantly leading races. But he's been, just a solid driver. Let's just be honest. And tonight, I feel like he's definitely got the car that definitely has a chance at winning.
Yeah, he had a solid run at Super Speed Weeks, both races.
Yeah.
Rockingham, we mentioned, he had a very quiet race. I believe he came out of there with a top 5.
Mm-hmm.
Had another solid race at Pocono, and he pressed the loud button, scoring the pole here, and now I don't think he's been lower than 3rd place tonight.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking. I'm trying to remember. Now, he's had top 5. Has he had a top 5? No. He's had 3 top 10s. He hasn't had a top 5. So pretty interesting.
He had to have finished 6th at Rocky.
Yeah.
He was right up there.
Being he's this high in the points, I'm going to guess that he's finished probably 6th about every time. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he, 3rd in points is what I said. So
I believe so.
Yeah, he's, I'm sorry, he's 5th in points. So he's had to finish, right there. One thing, guys, next week, these guys, this is pretty much a good look at what we could see next weekend. Next week we go to Atlanta, kind of similar. However, they're not going to be racing under the lights. And I don't know if I want to call it similar or not. That track's very fast. Let's just be honest. Drives a little bit different as well. So next week going to be at Atlanta Motor Speedway. That's going to be fun. Things get very interesting when we go to Michigan. Not quite sure how to expect that car or this car here at Michigan. So that's going to be fun. We do got a battle back here, by the way, for 5th place. Josh Pena taking it away from Skylar Grissom. Takes away 5th. He's moved up a little bit.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he's been moving up slowly but surely. He had that great pit stop that elevated him up a little bit more. And now he's, as you just said, he's cracked the top 5, trying to chase down Russell Bradka in the 74.
Yeah, I think he came out like 7th or 8th after that pit stop.
I believe it was 8th.
I think it was too. So he's done good as far as keep moving forward. That's the biggest thing. And once again, we talked about it earlier as we watched the battle for the lead. We talked about it earlier. There's going to be some guys that fall off or move forward a little bit once that transition comes in, and we're maybe looking at, Josh Pena could be one of them guys where the not transition's helping him a little bit. Lap 60 out of 150 up front. Drew Ballesteros took the lead away from Luke Doran a little while ago. Luke back in 3rd right now with Chris Stouffer separating the 2. Stouffer, on the other hand, started dead last. Well, I don't know if it was dead last on the field, but it was very close. So there you go. So he was pretty far back there. And so far he has, I don't know why he likes doing that, by the way. It's just interesting that he likes starting at the back.
That's a little bit more interesting. Makes your race more fun. It's having to work your way through the field. One thing I am noticing, just with the camera that I'm watching it through, center of the quarter, his brake rotors are glowing red. I'm not noticing that much out of anyone else, but his brake rotors are glowing red on that 13 through the center.
Let me check this. We got a camera we can watch it at, and that chrome rim, it should stand out pretty good on it. So let's see if we can. Oh yeah, there it comes. Looking at Ballesteros, yeah, Ballesteros glows, but not as bad. I think you're right. I think Stouffer uses a lot more brake, especially in the center. Maybe trying to get the nose planted to help rotate the center. Could be my guess. I don't know, but either way, that's quite a bit of brake.
Yeah, could do. And I mean, Ballesteros could be he could be running the strategy that I typically prefer, which is to let it coast a little bit longer and then push off.
Yeah, I think the exit to me is really more important than anything in any race.
Yeah, that just goes to show the 2 different driving styles. Yeah. If that is the case, Drew letting off and driving in a little bit more controlled, and Stouffer driving it in a little bit harder, a little bit more aggressive, using a little bit more of the brake as he tries to keep the car pinned down on the inside.
Would you consider, now there's a good and a bad aggressive, would you consider Stouffer an aggressive racer, especially in these cars?
Controlled aggression is what I would say. He knows when to push the issue, when to really try to make things happen, to start shaking things up. But he hasn't been wild with it. He hasn't been reckless with it. It's been very controlled. As in the back there, Skylar Grissom moves back in P5. But it's been I would say, an aggressive driver. Yes, he does lean a little bit more towards aggression, but it's a very controlled aggression. He can turn it up and turn it down as he needs.
It's interesting. I broadcasted Chris Stouffer. It's been a while now. I used to broadcast another series, racing cup cars, and he was one of the top guys. Like, I'm just going to be honest, he was top 5 week in and week out, solid contender like we see him right now. He was a lot more conservative back then, and I don't know if it's just his style of car where we see the aggressiveness, because you got to wheel these things around. Let's just be honest. And maybe that's what it is. I'm going to guess more that's what it is. But, I mean, I like seeing the style that we see from him. I mean, he started from the back and worked his way forward because he likes doing it.
Sorry to cut you off there, but the 8 had a wild ride going into 1.
Let's see if we can back this up and get a replay. This could be a save. Let's see.
Yeah, it was a heck of a save, too.
Josh Pena in that Budweiser car or Bud car. We'll see what happened here. We backed up a little bit.
He caught the wall going into 1, and it shot him right down.
Hey, you got to give him credit. He got the wall hard, man. That car should have been done. Very aggressive. That could be the save of the night. Does fall back a little bit, but great job.
Yeah, he hit that wall a ton.
Daniel Rouse has called it quits for tonight, it looks like. DNF for him. And honestly, he did not have a great night going for him at all since the drop of the green flag. That's tough, too.
Yeah, he had that issue early on. Right around the same time Nicholas Post had his issue on lap 2. I believe Rouse made it another circuit or two before his night of calamity started. And right now we're down to 12 runners with Tristan Ferris in the 10, bringing up the rear in 12th.
Sitting here reading some of the chat. Well, you guys can see it. I don't want to read all that. I suck at reading. Too much. But there's some little chat going on over in the YouTube chat. We are live on YouTube and Facebook. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button because, okay, and I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that I'm not doing this because I think it's a dumb idea, Sam. But, hey, I understand why you're doing it. If they get like so many likes or follows on either on YouTube or Facebook, so go do both of them. Sam Cooper Bennett, the owner of ESPN, is going to get a tattoo of ESPN. To me, that's kind of weird. I mean, I got tattoos. I got quite a few, but you can't really see none of mine. But I don't know if I'm going to go get a tattoo of ESPN. Just going to be honest.
Show your loyalty.
Yeah, I might have to pass on that. Well, I like ESPN. I'm loyal to it, but I ain't. Look.
Yeah, I'm not a big and more overriding, but I'm not much of a pain person. So
I hear you. So, I mean, you know, Sam, that's cool that you do it, though. Like, I will support you 100%.
Yeah, that's certainly one way to draw attention to the channel.
That is for sure. So, we got to get a few more. I forgot what it was, how many likes it was.
I think it was 1,500 on YouTube. I think it was 1,500 subscribers on YouTube. I think was the hit on that.
We got a message over on Facebook from the BRP iRacing series that we broadcast. Man, Tony Trapasso broadcast that. You've been in there. On Tuesday, Corby Daniels commented and says, pit stops, what are those? We don't do that on dirt racing. So you got a point. You do got a point on that. Hey, Bicknell Pro Late Model Series, they run the Pro Late Models now. They switched from the 360 Sprint. They run on Tuesdays. If you guys have not tuned in to watch that, it's pretty fun. Them guys are pretty good at what they do. A lot of real racers over there, so it's awesome to see them doing the same thing that they did in the Sprint series or the Sprint cars that they can do in the late models. So, you know, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Did a guest spot there, and it was a very entertaining race, a good show, and pretty doggone quick as well.
It's really quick. Yeah.
I was wondering if there was going to be more.
Yeah, it's very interesting how that does that. One thing I've noticed, by the way, and I don't know if you noticed this, Chris Stouffer worked through the field very fast earlier, but once he's got up here, he's kind of not stalled off by any means, but maybe it's just Drew picking up the pace.
Oh, no, that's what happens. That's what happens when you're racing around cars that are not your speed. You tend to breeze through them, and then once you get to cars that are at your pace, your speed level, then your progress as you do kind of trails off, and that's kind of what we've seen here. We've seen Stouffer now work his way through the field rather easily.
Yeah,
and is now kind of stalled out here in P2.
Yeah, so that's going to be pretty interesting. Another thing that's going to be interesting, tires, because now we are starting to see that feel again like we've seen earlier. As we jump back a little bit, Benjamin Shelton going up wide. He's going to actually give up 2 spots to Andrew and Jacob here. And that could be a factor of the tires starting to play dividends here for the 15 because he actually qualified really well. But tires becoming an issue. I'm seeing 39 laps on this set. Now, that does include caution laps, so keep that in mind. That is since the last time they pitted. My calculations, if they're right, they still actually have 4 sets left. So we are well ahead of schedule right now.
3 sets left, actually. It's
3
5
sets.
including the set, yeah.
That's right. So we are well ahead of what we should be.
Yeah, that's typically what you would want out
Yeah.
of a standard race, is you would want to have a set of tires or 2
I think we got green
in
flag
reserve
stop.
just in case you need them.
I think we might have a green flag stop happening because we got somebody on pit road, James, in the 18.
I wouldn't be surprised. And James, we've seen him. He was one of those guys, much like the 15, that was up there running well while the sun was out. And as the sun's gone down, then he's also hit the wall a couple of times. But he's another one of those guys that's trailed off as we've turned to night.
Yeah, you see the pit lane time at the bottom. As he drops, it's going to be interesting to see how long he's going to be total time on pit road. 44, 45, 45.2. So my question is, do you think this is going to bring other cars down pit lane?
I think with where he was running in the field, no,
Right.
I don't think so. I think this is a mid-pack car that's come down. I would be very surprised if any of the leaders came in because of that move.
I would be interested to know what the tire wear is
I
after
would
this
be
run.
as well, actually.
Yeah, that's very interesting to know. So if anybody's in the chat that may be in some of the chat with these guys that's running here, when they hit pit road, if you could get tire wear, let us know. And you don't even have to save the car because I know some guys don't want to give strategy or nothing like that away, or let other people know. So let us know. Let's see. Everybody's like kind of grouped up. Benjamin Shelton on pit road. Now, I'm not surprised to see this, by the way. This is one car he's had trouble with. He's had trouble the last few laps.
Yeah, he might have been pushing just a little bit too hard, and he finally decided, you know what, I think it's time, and start working our way down the lane here. So
that is the 2 cars that have been on pit road. By the way, we started the car with 16. We are down to 12 here tonight. So not our biggest field by any means. Not a bad field tonight. Not our biggest field. A lot of guys not here. Tony Ball was one of them. And who else was the other one that's not here?
Bando.
Yeah, Ben Banda. Yeah, that's right. I forgot him not being here.
Louis Bussa not here as well. So there were a couple of names. Yep, Derek Pemberton. So we very easily could have had a 20-car field tonight that everyone showed up. But then again, it's Spa 24-hour weekend. So
how about this battle for the lead? It's pretty impressive to see this happen this many laps into a race. I mean, usually, I'm going to be honest, usually at Charlotte, the leader gets out and he checks out. But Drew Ballesteros is a great driver. He's not checking out from Stouffer or Darden. They've ran, wheel for wheel with him in this race and matching lap times.
Yeah, and Luke Doran in the 4 has matched him as well, and the 74 of Bradka is still hanging in there as well. He's not quite in touch with this threesome up here, but he's in the zip code.
Let me know in the chat, guys, where you guys are watching from. I love seeing where people watch or where people are watching live from, the different states and stuff like that. Let me know where you're watching from. We do got a special series coming out on ESPN sometime this week. It'll be Derek Pemberton, a commentator here on ESPN and a driver here in this series, and my fat face will be in it, I guess. Anyway, we'll be live from the All-Star race at Bristol Motor Speed. We're not going to be live, but we're going to do like a vlog, or Derek's going to do a vlog in it, and he's wanting to put it on ESPN. And Sam approved it, so that'd be pretty cool, something different. And we'll have that up on YouTube, a little bit different. Not only that, we will have a new podcast coming out very soon. And we don't know who we're going to get yet. We'll grab somebody from one of these series and grab them. We need to get Frank in there because, of course, he works for CBS Sports, which is an amazing job. That'd be pretty cool. We got another pit stop, Skylar Grissom.
This one might bring some guys down.
Yeah, I agree.
Grissom running in the top 5. This one might start to pull.
Oh, it is. Josh Payne just coming in as well.
Yep. Yeah, this might pull the 44, the 74. And then after some of those guys come in, then I would expect the leaders to follow suit.
Skylar Grissom, 45.7 on pit road that time. So not the fastest by any means, but not a bad pit stop. Out of the top three, nobody coming in this time. I will let you guys know how Pena had the fast one last time. So
top four stayed out. You're right.
A little bit further back in the field, it looks like a lot of these guys, Jim Fawcett still staying out as well. Jacob staying out as well in the 51. Josh Pena should be rolling off pit road there. You see him rolling off 22.2. Total time on pit road, however, is going to be a 45.9. So very close to Skylar. Skylar, wow, that's a big difference in just fresh tires from seeing Skylar go around Pena like he did. It's going to be interesting to see what lap times look like compared to the fall off of some of these leaders. Like looking right now, Drew Ballesteros' last lap was a 32.958, best lap of 31.8. So it's about a second, 1.1. Jacob, by the way, on pit road. It's about a 1.1 second fall off right now. So not terrible, I guess.
No, that's usually up at the lead.
He saved it.
I think Stouffer. Oh, they're trying to get into the lane.
Who's that?
I think Drew was trying to get into pit lane, and Stouffer just ran him over.
Here's the replay of that. We can get a good look. I was actually looking at live time. I didn't see it. Luke Doran's going to come out the other side. Jacob Hoover on pit road.
Yeah, he was the big winner here.
Yeah, he definitely got him.
But Drew slowed up a lot going into 3. I don't know if he just misjudged the entry or if he was really trying to pin it down to get, well, maybe not. He might have misjudged the entry there as the 13 now looking under Doran.
If I'm Doran, I'm hitting pit road this time. 100%.
Yeah, I would
not question it.
Yeah, no, the undercut, especially in these cars, is very strong. I see, that would be my preferred strategy. If you're taking the undercut, I don't want to be the leader.
Yeah,
because
I
then
agree.
everyone else has time to react. I would want to be behind the guy I'm racing to pull that move off.
Andrew on pit road as well. Looking at the lap times compared to what Skylar Grissom ran, and I'm going to wait till Skylar gets back to the line before I call this out. You see Skylar working out of turn 4, crossing the start-finish line this time. Looking at lap times, Grissom crossing the line a 32.195. So he was 7/10 faster than our leaders that time. That was both going full speed and all that good stuff. So keep that in mind. Andrew had a slow pit stop. He spent a total of 52 seconds on pit road, 28.2 in the pit box. So not a great stop there for him. Ballesteros still battling Luke Doran here. This is really working out for Chris Stouffer with these two guys. Stouffer looks like he's kind of separating a little bit here.
Jamelin merging back onto the circuit. Oh, we got cars stopped in 3 and 4. That's the 15.
Yeah, this is a big caution. That is Skylar Grissom's going to get your lucky dog, but
that's kind of what you would have been expecting. I mean, they're not going to be pinned a lap down. I would assume that there's going to be a wave around issue here.
Now,
but that's kind of the caution that they were waiting for. They being the top 3 pronouns, pal.
Did he?
And look at Jim Foskett up there in P4.
Hey. Okay, that was the strangest wreck I've seen.
I actually have not gone back to look at it yet. Let me see here.
What? I don't know. To be honest, it looked like a tire blew.
Let's see, weird. Shall we?
That worked out for Jim pretty good, didn't it?
Yeah, it certainly did.
Worked out great for him. And he's going to be one of the 4 on pit road. How about that? He's like, I knew my plan.
This could just be a... Wait a minute.
That's strange, right?
This could just be an audio glitch.
I don't know.
It could be an audio glitch, but his rev limiter's pegged. I don't know. Maybe he dipped into third gear on accident.
That's a possibility.
I wouldn't see it as likely, but that could be.
Yeah, maybe he accidentally hit it. Race off pit road. Stove we're going to win. Battle for second is going to be close. And Jim came out in third. No, Drew Ballesteros, Luke Dorn, and Jim. So they all came down. Pretty much identical pit stops. Jim actually had the best stop. 45.9 total time on pit road. Let's see here. Oh. So we will find out. And what we'll do, guys, is take a quick yellow, and we'll be right back after this. All right, guys, welcome back. WOSCRL. You see the following sponsors on the bottom of the screen as well. We want to thank them for their sponsorship. Getting ready to go back Green Flag Racing here, as the cars on the inside are a lap down, so keep that in mind. One of the big names that was in that was Russell Brackus. We'll see how that pays out. Pace car is in. Green flag set to wave. And I just noticed something. Why was the 51 up front?
And the 44 is up there as well.
All right. Well,
this is going to make it interesting. Though.
Yeah, that's what you was talking about.
Yep, that's
I
what I
had
was.
no idea that the 51 was up there and the 44. Oh, that's interesting. So Stouffer going to have some. Well, I don't want to call them lap traffic because they're not a lap down now, but he's got some interesting traffic to work through.
He's got traffic of the unnecessary kind. At least from his point of view, unnecessary.
This could be a good or a bad thing for him, you know? That's the way I looked at it, because look how far he's already pulled out in front of Ballesteros.
Yeah, the next car you're looking at behind the 13, 4 position is the green and white 22. So there's about 2 cars in between him and the lead and the 8 car harassing him on the inside. So Drew is not having a good time either.
Right now, these guys are wanting a caution. The one that's in front of him.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah.
Bradko wants one.
Yeah, now it's just Bradko in front of him.
Wow, Jamelin took a big run.
It's like going to end
going into one in that 44 Superflow Chevrolet.
Which is a throwback scheme, by the way, to Days of Thunder, I believe.
Yeah.
An amazing paint scheme.
Which, what was that? I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, turned, 40 years old? Or 30 years old?
I think it was. I think it was like 30 or 40, yeah.
Yeah, 30 years old.
I watched behind the scenes of that. I watched it actually yesterday, behind the scenes. First time I ever seen it. Movie was based off Tim Richmond. But Rick Hendrick, of course, was the car owner. Very good, cool things behind the scenes. The movie was made on like a $50 million or like a $39 million budget, with $50 million budget, which is quite a bit of money still. But back then, it was quite a bit. Yeah. Definitely. But the movie grossed like $110 million in box office, but even more than that after the movie came out, like on VHS at the time. Mm-hmm. So very interesting.
To me, I think if I saw the same documentary as you, I believe it was also really interesting because they filmed a lot of that race while the 1990 or 1989 Daytona 500 was going on.
Yeah, as non-scorable cars.
Yep.
That is strange. That is so strange.
Add that to the list of things you will never see again.
Nope, you'll never see it. CGI and all that stuff nowadays. And I'm going to be honest, the movie's fantastic. To me, the best racing movie as far as oval stuff goes of all time. People say Talladega Nights was good. Let's just be honest, all right? No, it was not.
It was good.
Okay. It was comedy. So,
it was good for what it was.
Yeah. And I think what a lot of people forgot or don't really notice about Talladega Nights is a lot of that movie you can actually see the stands completely empty.
Yes.
So, but if you're into comedy and stuff, I mean, it's great. But I'm ready for like a real legit racing movie to come back out, like a Days of Thunder. Oh, there goes the 18.
Yeah, that's sliding. That's also going to be great. Oh, maybe not. The caution hasn't come out yet.
No caution. Look at that replay.
By the way, while we were running through Days of Thunder, the 22 has gotten clear of lap traffic, and the 44 has gotten past the leader.
Yeah, I noticed that Andrew was able to get around him too.
Yeah, he was. Again, he made that big dive, and then the next corner he was able to complete the pass.
Now, he's not a lap down now, but this has to be momentum for him, honestly. Like, he's in front of the leader. Like, not taking a shot at Andrew.
I can't imagine Stouffer in the 13 is pushing his car too hard right now. I mean, of course, you would want to get around them. That's 2 less competitors you have to deal with on your lap. But still, when you have as big a gap back to the rest of the competition as you can afford to ride behind these guys as long as nothing happens to one of them.
Benjamin Scott has officially retired from the race. James, the new guy, Bro Seeker, I believe is how you say his name, is on pit lane. I'm going to be honest, even though his night did not go great, I hope he continues to come back because he was actually really good to watch, especially early in the race.
Yeah, it was definitely a good showing, a positive showing, at least from my end, from what I saw. a very positive showing as the 13 gets under Jamelin there in the 44. Goes to put him back a lap down.
Bobby Patrica commented, I remember my dad took me to see the Days of Thunder in the theater I was 4, and it was an R-rated movie. Really? Wow.
As you do.
That's crazy. And also about that wreck, he said, I literally turned it right into the wall because he didn't want to collect someone else. Yeah, that's one of the things where it's more of a respect thing.
Yeah.
And I've talked about that before in other broadcasts. Benjamin Shelton said what happened to him was his throttle actually hung wide open going into the corner. He's never seen anything like it. See,
wow.
It looked weird to me, too. When he went in, I mean, that was a hard hit going into turn 3. So,
yeah, because, I went on cockpit, and that's how I heard.
That's what it sounded like you said it was revving up.
The engine, yeah, even when he was sitting there, the engine was still pegged out. So
that's strange.
That does make sense. If that's an equipment malfunction on his part, or if that's an iRacing issue.
That's strange, though, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
We don't hear about that very often.
One of the things you see, yeah.
No. Tough break, too, because he was running pretty good. And he was one of the cars that, I mean, he was in top 5 at one point. Benjamin was.
Yeah, he was.
And he's a really good driver. He just honestly hasn't had the greatest luck either. He's 9th in points. And it's just been bad luck. He does have a top 5 this season, of course, but, it could have been better here tonight.
I think he possibly missed one race earlier this year. I don't know if it was
possibly
Daytona or Rockingham. I think I think he was there for Rockingham. I believe he missed Daytona too. It's also not the greatest start to the year, taking a provisional in the opening race.
For sure. Some car we haven't talked about, by the way, is the 10 car. Tristan Ferris making his return. We talked a little bit about him. He was serving a 2-week suspension, making his return tonight. Honestly, just minding his business, which is exactly what you should do. Let's just be honest.
Especially when you're coming off suspension. The last thing you want to do is ruffle feathers.
Yeah. So right now, running 10th place. He is a lap down, but you gotta earn some good gracious back. So
exactly, and he's going to be under a microscope for the rest of the league, and this is certainly a good way. It's to earn some sort of favor back.
Yeah.
That in the top 10 finish doesn't hurt either.
That's true. Man, I might watch Days of Thunder after this. Not gonna lie, I ain't watched it. That's one of my favorite movies. I haven't watched it in a long time though. Tell you one interesting other fact about that was only filmed in like 2 or 3 locations. Charlotte and Daytona was the main ones, of course, and that's it.
Yeah,
I think they did have like clips of Phoenix and Bristol and stuff like that, but they wasn't actually there. So pretty cool.
But the OCD guy in me, when you see clips at Bristol. And then it shows the cars beating and banging at like Richmond or Phoenix. Yeah. It's like, come on,
I know.
Man.
I'm the same way. Like it's not Bristol.
Yeah,
you can literally see.
It's not. Stop.
You can literally see that Bristol is concrete. Like we know that when it shows an asphalt track and they call it Bristol. I mean, Bristol was asphalt at one point in time, but back when that race was going on, I don't think it was. So.
Yeah, no, it wasn't until the mid '90s when Bristol got the renovation what we see today.
Yeah, and then I'll tell you a funny story because I live in Bristol. I'm literally 5 minutes from the track. People that don't know, Bristol Motor Speedway was not scheduled to be where it's at its location, and it was actually scheduled to be a super speedway. And interesting fact was the guys that actually did it could not get the piece of land for the super speedway, so they found and couldn't get the bank loan for the super speedway. So they could get it up for a short track, and they elected to go to a short track instead of where it's at now because the land was cheaper. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they made the right choice.
Yeah, they definitely made the right choice. Although the races may not be as good now as what it used to be, but it's still short track racing, and I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
The race this year was fantastic, by the way, that they put on earlier this year. So
we're getting ready to see another one soon,
it's going to be
with
good.
Nothing but bragging rights on the line.
And $1 million?
Yeah, well,
just $1 million.
That's always nice.
Yeah, just $1 million, Everybody's somewhat spaced out, but there is something happening right here for the lead. Drew Ballesteros is closing up on Christopher, and I think Chris kind of was really lenient to some of the lap cars that was in front of him.
Yeah, and that is strategical ploy, as you would think, as he's gotten around Russell Bratkin now to put him a lap down. The 18 is the car that's ahead of them. If he's just flashing through the screen there, that's the 18. But Drew has had the fastest car all night.
Yeah.
Stouffer's been right up there with him, so one of these two guys winning this race, honestly, would not be surprising.
There is another battle going on. Josh Pena battling Andrew. This is for 8th. Even though they are a lap down, it's still for 8th position. Oh, 54 went through the grass. He's good. Clipped a little bit of it. You see Skylar Grissom there as well. He's actually 4th position. And if I'm not mistaken, this will be, as long as he finishes where he's at, 2 top 5s this season. If he's able to finish where he's at.
Two top 5s and 2 disasters.
Yeah. So
he's running at a 50% ratio right now, which is not great.
So we're watching that right now. Actually watching the battle up front for the lead currently.
And then, as we mentioned before, Jim Foskett sitting there at P5.
Oh, so
strategical genius.
Bristol went from concrete in 1992. So when they filmed Days of Thunder, it was still asphalt while they was filming it. There you go. That makes sense.
Yeah, the renovations as far as the stands go.
Now, see, I was born in 87.
Mid.
I didn't go to my first Bristol race until 99, and I didn't go to my actual. Or I'm sorry, it was whenever the first bumping or the second bumping run when Jeff Gordon did it on Rusty Wallace. That was my first ever Bristol race.
That
was not race. Was it 2001?
The night race was 2002.
2002. So that was my first ever
1 or 2.
Yeah, that was my first ever big race. So I never got to see Bristol asphalt because I was born in 87, but I never got to see Bristol as asphalt. I bet the tires there was just destroyed.
Yeah.
I mean, you can imagine.
Could definitely see it, yeah.
I wish they had the old Bristol out here. That'd be fun to run these cars on.
Yeah, iRacing, let's make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, you got everything else going on. You might as well throw dirt Bristol and dirt asphalt Bristol in there, or Bristol asphalt. I mean, good battle for the lead right now.
Just easy things to do,
Yeah, no pressure. You don't have nothing important on your plate. Here comes Ballesteros.
Yeah, he's going for the lead. He's got the corner of Stouffer, and he's going to take the lead here going through 1 and 2. Outside line, not as easy to hold in these cars. You can hold service, Drew, but Stouffer, I'm sure, using a lot of car to be able to hold position the way he is right now.
Not only this, you're taking a gamble. What we're seeing right now, the 22 sliding up, you got to kind of know that if you're a Stouffer, you don't want that car to slide up on you. And that happens a lot in these cars. We've seen it done a lot of times. So you got to kind of be aware. Oh, into 1, though. That 22's flying into 1.
Yeah, but Stouffer's going to get the big run coming off. And I noticed that last lap, I was curious to see what he was going to do, and he did it. He ran a lot higher in 3 and 4, he being Stouffer.
Yeah.
Ran a lot higher through 3 and 4 and got a better run than he did in 1 and 2 that lap, and he was right up against the wall in 1 and 2 that time and got a heck of a run.
Now Ballesteros comes in here not great in points, let's be honest. 11th in points, even though he's had great runs, he just can never finish these races out. No top 5s, so keep that in mind. He's at least going to get that tonight, or should. But it's something that we're going to be watching as he is able to take the lead right now.
Yeah, he made a great impression at Super Speed Weeks at Daytona to start the year, and then really stamped that at Rockingham with the pole. And again, just as we've mentioned, just issue after issue after issue.
Very impressed right now with some of these guys. I'm impressed with Jim as well, up to 5th. We talked about him a little bit. Doing a great job right there. You see him back in 5th place. He cannot fall any further back to where he's at right now. The first car 1 lap down. Russell Brackett currently running 6th, so he would need a little bit of a break here. But we're coming up on green flag pit stops again. We got to pit, I think, one more time before this race is over.
Yeah, we definitely do. And with 28 laps
Yeah.
to go, it's going to be a question of, do you want to split the run up as evenly as you can, or do you want to take it as long as you can, 2 tires, splash of
No
fuel,
tires.
and go? No, I think 2 tires would be a very
Somebody's going to do
very
it.
poor decision.
I'm going to be honest. Somebody that would do it would be Jim. I'm just going out on the line right now and saying it.
Yeah, but he's been the strategical genius.
That's
here.
true. He has.
Remember, he stayed out early, got himself a lap lead, stayed out with the 3 leaders, stayed on the lead lap. He has been the guy tonight.
So would it be strategical if he didn't take tires and wins the race?
I don't know. Maybe we should have had it in.
Report. Yeah, that would have been. Yeah, that would have been. Would have definitely been important to have. Another thing that's going to be interesting is with the whole tire situation and stuff like that. You're not going to take a full tank of gas because these things take a minute to fill up.
I would say 2 tires, splash of fuel, good enough to get you to the end, and then that's it.
You're only looking
at least.
Well, how many laps are you really looking at? You're not looking at many laps once you pit.
No, you're not.
And we're not entirely sure when.
Yeah, no, the left side tires really don't seem to wear on these cars.
Right, I mean,
they certainly do, but not at the rate the rights tend to wear. So you take 2 tires, splash of fuel, you should be okay.
Lap times in general really, for this being the old Charlotte, lap times really does not fall off as much as what I thought they would in these cars. We're a second off the pace right now. That's not bad. Like, best lap for Drew Ballesteros was 32 point. Now, I'm going to go by this lap. So let me wait till this lap finishes. A 32.907. Best lap is a 31.883.
Yeah, no, that sounds about right. These cars, they tend to fall off quick, but they hit a point
where they kind of sturdy out.
Don't fall off anymore. Like, you'll see a big drop off over 10 to 15 laps, and then they just kind of hang there.
Got a battle back for 4th. Skylar Grissom also under attack. Jim trying to take 4th away. We're going to kind of go between this and 1st, so we're kind of working back and forth here as this race continues. We're on lap 128 right now.
Yeah, and for the 28 of Skylar Grissom, none of these cars in front of him are for position. The position is behind him, and then the next position is about 5 seconds up the road. Yeah,
Luke Doran, I thought would be able to hang with both of these guys because he was doing a great job earlier.
Wrecking Skylar.
Uh-oh.
4th and 5th.
No caution either.
Wow.
Now, see, as slow as he was going there, if you got to come to pit road, right there was your opportunity.
The 40. Oh, that was caused by the 44 of Jamelin.
Back us up just a little bit. 47 also got a little bit of it. Here's the replay.
Jamelin got on the apron in the 44, and that spooked. Yeah. That spooked Skylar up the track, and he was carrying too much speed to keep it out of the wall.
That was the good news for that, and I'm trying to look at the light side of it. Skylar did the right thing of not causing a caution, not spinning, because honestly, it would have put a couple of these guys back on the lead lap, and that's the last thing you want. You're guaranteed right now a 5th spot, most likely.
Yeah, it's just again a good job just to save that car.
Yeah.
Unfortunate circumstance that put him in that spot, but I mean a very good job of saving the car as we get down to 20 laps to go.
Does Skylar Grissom not pit the very last time?
I haven't seen him come in yet. He's fallen back. But
from what I'm
I haven't
seeing,
seen him pit yet.
He's got 9 lap older tires than everybody else. He got 48 laps.
Yeah, he
that's right.
Under the green.
Yeah,
he made a green flag stop, and just the top 4, the 22, the 13, the 4, and the 47 all came in under caution. Everyone else stayed out.
So one interesting thing.
The 18 stopped down in turn 3.
Yeah, he is rolling. Not sure what happened there. There had to be something that happened.
I wonder what happened there.
Here's a replay. He had to wreck. Oh, yeah,
Yes,
he wrecked
he
bad.
did. Oh,
Yeah. I don't know how that didn't bring out a yellow, to be honest. He just got the wall at the weird spot.
yeah, he hit the wall on a straightaway.
Yeah, that was strange. So no yellow, but here's what's interesting. Tristan Ferris on pit road. Here's what's interesting with this. Skylar don't hit pit road. So right now, let's say these guys can make it 6 more laps. I don't think they'll have to pit. Now keep in mind, we're looking at a field mileage race. I'm telling you, this is a field mileage race now because Skylar's been out there 50 laps. But keep in mind, we did have a yellow. So there is a little bit of a buffer there. I don't know.
Yeah, no, this is. I think you're kind of in a spot where I think you have to pit again.
I'm still thinking that too. We're still, what, 17 away? Yeah, 17 away.
Yeah,
right now?
I think these guys, these two up here at the front, they're kind of at the point the same as they were in the last run. We're going to hold out as long as we possibly can, see if we can catch a caution, come in under caution. But to get to your point before about Luke Doran, is that kind of fell by the wayside with everything happening. Luke had a harder time getting through lap traffic than the 22 and the 13 did.
True,
so that kind of set him back a little bit. He's not falling off too much from these guys on single lap pace.
Yeah, he's running really close to what they're running.
Yeah, but he kind of got set back there with how much lap traffic he had to deal with and how difficult it was for him to get through it.
This is your last lap from Christopher Luke Doran. You can see Luke was actually faster that time with a 32.896 to a 32.946 to Stouffer. So he's still right there on pace with these guys. So I think you're right. I think the lap traffic kind of messed everything up there a little bit.
And again, Bracken, the 74, has a quick car. That's not just a lap car sitting out there. He got caught by that last caution flag.
True, yeah.
So the 4 could definitely use him to kind of drag him up to those two up there at the front.
Tell you something else I'm sitting here looking at as I'm watching Skylar Grissom. If he does have to hit pit road, he's saving. He might be out of gas. That car does not sound right. I'm gonna hop on board. I don't know. What's that noise? Sounds like the tire's out.
It does.
I think the tire's blown on that car.
That just might be the engine too, from what
It could be where he hit the wall. He's bringing to pit road
now. Yeah, he's coming in now.
Now, here's what's interesting with that. Now, he was looking at a top 5 finish. Now, he still may get that. But here's what's interesting to me.
It sounds like it's coming from the right side.
It does. And see, what the
It
thing
sounds
is, we
like
can't.
a right.
It sounds like a tire.
Yeah, it sounds like a right rear tire gone.
That car don't sound right. But yeah, here's what's interesting. He's gonna go a lap down, and not only that, he's gonna be back out of the top 5 now.
Yeah, Brackett. Yeah, he switches right sides.
I don't know what that was.
Yeah, and the car doesn't sound that way anymore now.
I bet he had a flat tire. That car sounds normal now. And he came down and changed he changed one side tires.
Yeah,
He only
changed
changed
right sides.
I think.
Now he is going to have to worry a little bit here because he just got the 44 and the 51 have gotten past him. So the lowest he can go is 8th right now, but he's on quick. He's on those right side tires.
What I'm watching now, because we're at 10 to go. What I'm watching right now is when When will Jacob and Andrew pit? That's our next target for when them two pit. That's going to help us for when Drew and Chris will pit, if they have to.
Oh, reckon 8. 8's reckon.
And he is to the inside. No yellow. He needs to back this up a little bit. This may bring out a yellow. He's going to stay on the inside. No yellow will come out with Josh Pena going around out of turn 2. Actually, he just left pit lane.
Yeah, so he probably on the fresh tires gassed it up a little bit too much.
Yeah, he took Ross only as well. Tristan Ferris also on pit road.
And if you've noticed up there at the front, Stouffer has fallen off of Drew Ballesteros in the 22.
I don't know how they're saving these things.
Luck.
Yeah.
Luck and skill.
Yeah, I'm not sure how it works. If it's the same, I'm going to guess it's not. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. Jacob Hooper's on pit road. So there's your answer right there. We're going to be seeing these guys pit. Yeah, we're looking at like maybe 3 more laps for these guys.
I think we're in the window. Pardon me there. I think we're in the window of gas and go at this
I agree.
point. I think tires would be taking too long here unless we get a caution.
Yeah, because if you take tires, you're just costing yourself the race. You can't. The lap times are not thought off that important. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, if fuel is a concern, this would be gas and go area here with 7 laps to go.
I didn't think we would see a fuel mileage race in these cars.
Yeah, well, it's
so.
racing, bud.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's definitely possible.
It is racing.
So, yeah, Stouffer's falling back quite a bit. He's already 9/10 off and falling back more. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see him being. I don't see you being able to save. I think if you're trying to save to make it to the end, I think it's too late to try to save that much.
I mean, it depends on how much you need to save. As Skyler working side by side now with the 4 of Luke Doran. Again, that's not for position.
Yeah. The Skyler's back up to 7th. Now, he is 2 laps down. Could still work out for him, depending on pit stops for other people. We're kind of keeping on that. We're coming to 5 laps to go. And the pace has considerably slowed way down.
I think Stouffer might have used up too much because he's fallen into the clutches now of the 74 of Bradka there.
Very interesting race right now.
Yeah, he might have overdriven his car.
So we're waiting to see, will they hit pit road? I mean, I will say Andrew has been out here for 57 laps. That's 3 more laps more than these guys. Keep in mind, there was a yellow. So, you know.
You know what? I'm not sure what's going on with these 3 because Doran has caught up to the 13 and the 22. The 2 lappers here, the 28 and the 74 have caught up and are now passing. We might be in ultra save mode at this point.
Yeah, 13 is so far off the pace right now.
It'd be wise of him to try to let the 28 go as quickly as possible. So there's a 3 to go here. And if Stouffer's not careful, look who just passed the 74.
Yep.
That's the Luke Doran.
Yep.
So Luke Doran, he might not be getting the top step of the podium, but he's certainly sniffing the second step.
He was 7/10 faster than second and 6/10 faster than first last time by.
I think, you know what? He might have been saving this whole run, and
That's
now
a
these guys
possibility.
are trying to recoup what they should have been saving. And here he goes for second place around the outside.
Yeah, he's definitely going to grab second. I can tell you, Drew Ballesteros did pick up the pace and was actually faster than Doran last time by.
Yeah, he had to. With Doran catching these guys as quickly as he had to step on the gas as we come to the white flag.
White flag is out in the air this time. I'm looking at just to make sure. So they should be able to make it back pretty much with no problems. Looking at Andrew, who's, he ran a lot further laps than them. But right now, Drew Ballesteros working through turn 3 and 4. Bring us to the checker.
As Ballesteros comes out of corner number 4. 2 lappers in his way, but it's not going to matter. Drew Ballesteros takes this one here at Charlotte, becomes the 3rd different winner this season. A fantastic run for the 22 all night long.
Fireworks going off here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Drew Ballesteros picking up the first win of his WOSCRL Racing Throwback Series career. You see the fireworks going off in the background. Luke Dorr in second. Chris Stouffer finishing third. Not sure what happened there to Chris. We're going to find out. We do got some interviews coming up, and we'll try to get them in here in just a moment. As Drew might have enough to do a burnout. We're going to see. Should be able to. As you see the fireworks going off in the background here with the number 22 victory lane. And honestly, this is a well-deserved win. Let's just be honest. He deserved this a long time ago.
Yeah, well-deserved, well-run race. It's just, this was due for Drew here.
All right, with that said, I don't know who Two Tire Guy is, but we're going to bring some people in. That might be our race winner, but we do got Chris Stouffer. Chris, Adam Chapman up in the booth with Frank Marchese. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, tell us about, we just got to ask, tell us about what happened. It looked like you had to save a little bit of fuel there at the end.
Actually, I had 3% wear left on my tires. I burnt my stuff trying to get around the lap traffic there. After that, on that last restart, I had those 4 cars in front of me, and just trying to make it by them. They're racing, try to stay on the lead lap, which I get, and made it a little bit difficult for me to get around them. Whereas, by the time Drew caught him, they were already a lap. They're like, hey, the fight's over, and kind of let him go a little bit easier, it looked like. But, things happen, and that's the way it is. It's racing, and Drew deserved it tonight.
That tells us what happened with Skyler. We didn't know if he blew a tire or not, but that's definitely not what it sounds like. All in all, man, started last, worked your way through the field. That had to be fun. 150 laps here tonight. Talks about driving this car around Charlotte.
I messed up on my qualifying. I hit the wall out of 4 coming to the line for my second lap, and it screwed up both the laps. I was just like, I'll just start in the back and take it easy, which I did. As best of my ability. It's hard because I've got this mentality, want to competitive, I guess you could say. So I made my way up through the field. It was a lot of fun. It really was. The racing was certainly intense there between Drew and Luke, and everybody else was really nice, clean, and I can't complain about that whatsoever.
For sure, man. Points going to be a big thing for you tonight as well. It's going to help you out. Frank, you got any questions for him?
Yeah, piggybacking off of that, with the points leader not being here, you have to be excited even with a 3rd place finish. Not as good as 2nd, but still 3rd place, a decent points day with the points leader not here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's icing on the cake. Tonight, like Adam said there, started in the back and drove up. So finishing on the podium, first, second, third, that's always the goal. I always shoot for a top 5. So I'm happy about the result tonight. I can't complain about getting 3rd at all. I would have liked 2nd, would have liked 1st, but I'll take 3rd any day of the week.
Hey, man, for sure. You want to give shout-outs or anything like that before we let you go?
Again, give you guys a shout out for broadcasting. Thanks for coming out, and Skylar and the guys for putting on the league.
Hey, man, good job tonight. Next up, we got Luke Doran, I believe, with us in the booth. Luke, it's Adam, and Frank up in the booth. You got a copy? Oh, has he got us? There he is. You got us, man? I think he is working on his microphone. Hey, Luke, you got us? All right, what we'll do, we're going to come back to Luke. We'll let him figure it out. We'll come right back to him here in just a moment. What we will do is go over to our leader at the moment. Well, not leader at the moment. Drew Ballesteros putting it in victory lane. Drew, it's Adam and Frank up at the booth. You got me?
Yeah, you got me?
Man, big win tonight. This has to feel like a monkey off the back. You ran good in past races and just have something happen, but tonight it was kind of the opposite. Talk us through your night, man. Not a bad night for you at all.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It was just a mental change. The previous 2 races, Pocono and Rockingham, both of those were self-induced issues. Shouldn't have happened. I know I could have had better finishes, if not a win, if I had not caused those. So tonight was more of changing my mindset. This is a marathon. Just keep focused and it'll come to you.
So we go from this track to Atlanta next week. Kind of similar in a way. I know Atlanta's a little bit faster, probably a little bit more tougher track since it's going to be in the daytime. How do you feel about heading down to Atlanta?
I'm ready for Atlanta. I'm excited for it. It's a fun track to take care of the tires. That's something that I believe led me to the win tonight, would just be able to take care of the tires. The right front was such a detriment during the race tonight. So next week, all 4 tires are going to be worn out, and we're going to slip and slide. It's going to be fun.
For sure. Frank, any questions for him?
After that last restart, you guys were so far back, mired in lap traffic. How easy was it for you to get through that lap traffic and get up to Chris and just kind of hang around with him to make that move for the lead?
Yeah, they were a little difficult to get past for a little bit, and that's when the mental change happened, or like really took effect. Is take your time, you'll get around them. Even though they were on same good tires, I knew that we were faster and we get around them. So once we got past, it was just a matter of taking care of the tires and let Chris come back to me, and it worked out.
For sure, man. Finishing top of the board tonight, and it's definitely going to help you in a point situation, I'm sure. It's good to see you actually be able to pull one of these wins out. You deserve it. You want to give shout-outs or anything like that?
Yeah, just shout out to Skylar and everybody who helps run this league. Look forward to next week. Look forward to hopefully battling it out with Tony Ball once he gets back. So I'm ready, I'm focused, and look forward to beating him next week.
Hey, good job tonight, man.
Congratulations,
buddy. Yeah, big congratulations to him. All right, let's see if we can grab Luke during this time. Luke, you got a copy? Don't know if he's going to be able to get us tonight or not, Frank, to be honest. Luke, it's Frank and Adam. You got us? Hey,
Luke,
man.
you're a fan?
Yeah, I think he's having trouble with his mic. I know he had trouble last week as well with his mic in Discord. Hey, I think he's got us.
You got me?
I got you, man.
We got you.
All right, I'm sorry.
You're good. Finishing P2. And the biggest question I got you, because this is a big coming out party for you, so to speak. You was able to get out front, lead laps, coming in here 5th in the points, putting it in 2nd tonight. Talk us through the last couple laps, man. Big night for you.
Yeah, no, on that last restart, we got mired back in those lap cars for some reason, and by the time I worked through it, the top 2 were kind of gone, so we just tried to manage the tires and hope that, they started falling off, and at the end there, I think Chris ran his right front off.
First time, or not first time, yeah, first top 5 finish this season, so that's got to be a big momentum swing in your favor. How do you feel about taking this car to Atlanta next week?
I actually need to buy Atlanta. I've never ran Atlanta, so I know the tire wear is going to be awful.
Right.
This one, the right front was gone, but yeah, it'll probably be worse there.
Frank, question for him.
So you, again, you had a great runs at both races at Daytona, mid-pack cars at Rockingham and Pocono. You're right here, pole, up at the front, all race long. Here today, think this is the beginning of the momentum switch for you?
I hope so. I mean, it'll be a little bit different when we get Tony back. But the last couple races, I didn't feel like I was that bad. I just wanted to try and, manage my stuff a little bit and, just stay out of trouble. And I never quite worked my way up to where I thought I was speed-wise.
For sure, man. Well, it was fun to watch. We was talking about you quite a bit during this race, and you did a great job putting it in P2. You want to give shout-outs or anything like that?
And shout out to Skyler and all the guys who raced tonight. It was a really smooth race on my end. I don't know. I'm gonna watch the broadcast back, but yeah.
Hey, man, good job tonight, buddy.
All right, thanks man. I appreciate it.
You bet. So, Frank, real quick, because I just remembered next week. I said we go to Atlanta, and that is correct. Next week is such a big race because not only we go to Atlanta, that is actually the championship race at the end of the season. That could very well be close. So next week's going to be a big race for these guys.
Yeah, you learn the track. You get this. It's a big, gigantic practice session, and for guys who are at the top of the top of the standings, like Tony Ball, like Drew, like Stouffer, like Bando.
Yeah.
That's a big race because you're expecting to be up in that situation where you're fighting for the championship. So next week is a priceless week for those guys.
There's a couple guys I feel really bad for tonight. Benjamin Shelton, I think, had a good car. I feel bad for him. Feel bad for Skylar Grissom, which did confirm, by the way, did blow a tire, by the way, from what we're hearing from Chris Stouffer. He only had 3% left on his. So, tough out kind of for them. I don't know if it's so tough for Skylar. It definitely could have been way worse. But all in all, I mean, the race was pretty fantastic. Would you agree?
Yeah, it was a very enjoyable race. And also, to mention Bobby Patrica and what happened to him earlier on in the race, that could have definitely changed the complexion of this finish. He looked like he had a fantastic car today. But yeah, very entertaining race, great action all the way through. The fight for the lead went down to the bitter end, and even when it looked like it was all over, we had the 4-car coming up, giving everybody a little bit of a scare, thinking he might make a run for it, the dying laps. So yeah. All in all, a very entertaining race.
For people that remember Bobby Patrica's wreck, we did get a quote kind of from him. Basically, he said it was completely his fault. What happened was he spun, he overcorrected, and he didn't want to come back across the track and anybody else. And then he basically sat there, took a deep breath, put it in gear, and he did not look at his relative and just rolled. And he said if there's any penalties, he'll gladly take it. He said he's a complete, and I can't say everything, but he's a complete moron pretty much for what he said. I don't think there should be a penalty. It happens, but at least he'll learn from it. We've all done it. So, all in all, great race. That'll do it, though, for us, guys. You got anything else you want to say, Frank?
No, just very excited for next weekend. Also, if you're enjoying these older cars, also check out the Diehards, the Diehard Racing Series. Yeah, that runs on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, right. Sam Cooper Bennett has the call. Of course, Frank is in there. I think it was just
Tony,
you two.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so there
Tony's
you go.
in it as well.
There you go. I couldn't remember if he was there or not. So there you go. That'll do it for us tonight, guys. Thank y'all very much for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe, like, comment, Facebook, all that stuff, whatever. Y'all have a great night. Take care as always. God bless.